Well, we're all here, I think, because we are dedicated to carrying on the legacy of our grandmother. She was a great inspiration to us personally, and her passion was so true and so deep that we're honored to continue that.
It's hard to not be inspired for anyone, I think, hearing this stuff, because there is an end in sight, and it could be brought to fruition.
As allies, it feels great to be able to be here, but it's also, more than anything, very inspiring to see people that are actually affected come forth and advocate.
It's also a community that I think has really embraced us, so it feels pretty good to be part of that.
Just seeing that we already have a policy win on the federal ban that we just learned today was rather exciting, and just contributes to that great feeling that we're here to do, good, and we're already seeing some great changes.
Really interesting to see the stats and the research expose the fact that abstinence-only programs are highly ineffective. In fact, in many instances, they're actually detrimental and can cause more harm. And so it's extraordinarily important for people to have all the information.
If you tell somebody, don't have sex, that's the end of the story, not everybody's going to listen to that.
No, it's not realistic.
It's not realistic. And what is realistic is, I think, to tell people if they're going to have sex, this is a way you can do it safely and responsibly. And that is realistic. And sex can be amazing, but it needs to be handled appropriately and safely, right? So,
Sex is amazing.
Well, regarding the Real Education for Healthy Youth Act, 1 out of 5 new infections are in the age group of 13 to 24. And so the reason why we're really pushing for that act to go through is because it's going to be one of the most powerful tools we have to reducing new infections. And if our young people are educated, they will be able to make the correct, healthy choices for themselves and others, and carry that knowledge throughout the rest of their lives.
what we're talking about is empowering them with knowledge to make responsible decisions.
I think it goes even deeper than that, though, too. Even just empowering people to have a sense of self around their own bodies, to make safe decisions for themselves. And sometimes that empowerment is empowering them to say no.
Well, I think the biggest thing that I notice with people my age and my friend group and everything is that HIV and AIDS is just not really talked about very openly. Even though I do live in a state that is fairly liberal and does encourage comprehensive sex education.
Our grandmother never really withheld information. She was very vocal and very open to expression, and in that way I think we've seen firsthand how any topic can feel comfortable and trustworthy when people within your family feel confident in you to be able to talk about anything.
I think we were all lucky that we had very open communication within our families growing up. Our grandma was definitely a matriarch for all of us, and then also within our individual families. As cousins, we all had open communication and felt comfortable talking about sex and sexuality in the ways we grew up, but not everybody has that. And we're very lucky, but it's also important to foster that sense of open communication in a school system.
We were lucky enough to not have to feel shame ever. Our grandmother was an empowered, powerful person. So much of her fight around AIDS was to reduce stigma. We were so fortunate to grow up in homes without shame. And if there is anything that we can do that would help other people not feel shame, to feel empowered, to feel embraced, I think that is important to all of us and important to the mission of ETAF.